O Yeti é um animatronic amado pelos fãs da Disney, mas todos temos que concordar que ele tá abandonado tem muito tempo. A Disney nunca consertou seu modo principal, que balançava e avançava no trem. E acho que nunca vai mudar, porque eles não vão consertar de jeito nenhum. Mesmo que a gente reclame muito, ele tá esquecido e eles nunca vão fazer nada. Ver ele de perto dá um nervoso inexplicável. Ainda mais pelo fato que nunca na atração a gente vê ele direito. Sempre com o trem passando a 10.000 km/h e vendo ele de relance, ainda mais no modo do disco Yeti. Ver assim, dá pra perceber seu tamanho imenso e o quão bem feito ele é, com cada fio no seu braço sendo fluido e de alta qualidade. Toda a moldagem dele é impecável. Os pelos são só um adicional. Ele realmente se parece com uma fusão de um macaco com um homem e com um monstro gigante numa real atrocidade traduzida dos mitos. Ele é incrivelmente assustador pela reação dada a seu rosto, mostrando uma raiva e ferocidade primordial. É realmente incrível. Mas do que vale ter um animatronic tão aterrorizante, bem feito como esse e não utilizá-lo em todo o seu potencial? Pô, Disney, vamos lá, conserta o nosso Expedition Everest. Podemos encontrar o Yeti, mas aquele que encontramos hoje é uma versão muito defasada quando comparamos com a versão original dele. O Yeti, no lançamento da atração, fazia movimentos extremamente bruscos e ia diretamente de encontro com o trem, dando a impressão de que ele era real. Além disso, o animatronic era o maior que a Disney havia produzido até o momento, o que custou muito caro para a Disney. Mas você pensaria que foi pelo dinheiro que ele parou de ser utilizado como originalmente, mas na verdade não. Os movimentos bruscos do animatronic foram tão bruscos que mexiam com a estrutura da própria montanha que construíram para o Expedition Everest, a réplica do Everest. Quando ele se balançava para tentar pegar o trem, todo o seu apoio ficava em uma viga, que era principal para a montanha. E o que acontecia era que ele causava tensão nela, sendo assim um problema enorme e um perigo de desmoronamento. Sendo assim, a Disney procurou uma alternativa, e assim nasceu o disco Yeti. O disco Yeti é um modo sem movimento do animatronic, no qual ele fica parado e um efeito estroboscópico dá a impressão de movimento. E se você foi lá no Expedition Everest mais atualmente, é o que você viu. O problema é que esse modo não é muito realista, e o efeito de
This is going to scare people.
This Yeti is the single biggest dynamic figure that has ever... If you come here to Expedition Everest, you want to see the legend of the Yeti brought to life.
Bringing an imaginary creature to life is the ultimate science project. The design team calls in an expert, a biologist. A brainstorming session may be the best way to make a monster that's part science fiction.
We have two approaches to how we deal with organisms that we've never actually seen, but we want to try and image for the public in 3 dimensions. We're starting with primates, things we know well, and we're taking component parts that we think are the most logical pieces for this character in this environment in this story.
The secret to breathing life into the Yeti was invented by Walt Disney himself.
Now, to accomplish this, we created a new type of animation. So new that we had to invent a new name for it.
Audio animatronics?
Right, audio animatronic.
It was a way for Disney to bring his animated characters from feature films into theme parks. This is where Disney created the most advanced animatronics creature ever, Expedition Everest's Yeti. Only a handful of Imagineers are allowed in this secret California laboratory. Disney invited Discovery's cameras in on one condition, that the Yeti's face be obscured by this plastic. They're trying to prevent a case of Yeti identity theft. But it seems like this creature could protect himself. He's 25 feet tall, 4 tons, about the size of a bull elephant, and very lifelike.
Throughout the figure, there are 19 separate functions that provide the motion that you see on the figure. The arm forward, the wrist, the elbow.
When I first ran it, I stood in front of it and, he just came right in front of my face and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is, really amazing. This is going to scare people.
This Yeti is the single biggest dynamic figure that has ever been built. There is nothing that is this big, that moves this fast in the world of animation. It's really pretty cool.
This thing truly is a beast. So large and it's so dynamic that it couldn't be built like a traditional animated figure where his mass and movements were supported off of his legs. So what the engineers did is we designed a horizontal slide and a vertical slide in this long boom and the boom actually goes into the Yeti's back. So he is suspended from that boom, goes in and out 5 feet, up and down 18 inches.
The Yeti's powered by a 3,000 PSI hydraulic thruster that can be recharged in 20 seconds to fit the storyline.
If you took all of the cylinders, the linear actuators on this, the thrust they produce is greater than a 747 airliner.
There's no question this monster's a marvel of engineering.
That's just one big machine.
So we're really reluctant, generally, to peel back the illusion and show you how it works. But in this case, the Yeti is such a tour de force of engineering itself, engineering apart from the illusion, that it's worth talking about the amazing work that's been done just by the engineers on this project alone.
If you took his arm off and looked at it and looked at his forearm truss section, you would think you were looking at a NASCAR or a F1 car without its body.
Making the Yeti's motions real and scary is the job of the animator.
Animating in traditional animation or film animation is you're just trying to get your shot right for the scene. With audio animatronics animation, we have to make sure it looks good from every angle because guests will be going through a three-dimensional space.
The animators produce position data. It tells each of the 19 functions what position they each need to be in for any particular scene of the show.
This console here that was developed back in the 1960s helps us to be more artistic with the figure, so we can go through it like a puppeteer would go through. But we also, with our graphical editor, have the ability to go through it frame by frame, just like you would in film animation with CG or traditional animation. As an animator, we always feel like we have to get into character, you know, just like a method actor would. So I started by going to the zoo with my sketchbook, and I just watch the way they move, and I get a feel for, you know, their motion.
Dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks.
A range of sizes,
Okay.
a range of thicknesses.
The finishing designer also looks to the animals for details like hair and nails, and then creates them in the lab.
The nails are molded part of fiberglass body, and they're painted to look like dingy animal nails.
Then there's the skin-tight fur that fastens on like a bodysuit.
There are about 1,000 snaps fasteners on this beast. There are about 250 zippers, and there's about 1,000 square feet of fur fabric. The spandex layer goes underneath the fur, and it protects the fur from the mechanics on the inside.
All dressed up and ready to go, the Yeti makes a very scary picture.
When you're on the ride and you see the Yeti for the first time, you won't know what you're going to see. It's going to be this big moving mass. There's going to be hair and teeth and claws, and you won't really know what you're looking at. You'll have to go back several times.
When I did see the Yeti move as a finished creature, it was fantastic.
There's 4.5 days.
So cool.
Just get
that
done.
looks great. I mean, it's
Thanks.
just coming down.
Time to pack up the Yeti for the...
The Abominable Snowman is another super advanced audio animatronics character built by Disney.
Worked with world-renowned primatologists to really anticipate what a figure of this size would look like, how it would move.
And I think anyone who's been on it will tell you that is the most amazing audio animatronic character we've ever created.